Welcome back, darlings. In this video, I'm going to be testing Dodo Juice Pneu Look because apparently this is the best tyre cleaner on the market. Thing is, I've done a video on tyre cleaners before, so let me give you a quick bit of context as to why we're looking at this one. So then, why am I using Pneu Look and why have I got it? Well, recently Andreas, he of long Facebook comments and posts, said this was one of the best tyre cleaners he's used, along with one from Asenso. Different types of products. I've previously used CarPro Retyre, so I've got a good reference there. I commented on saying I should probably get some of this to give it a go, which is great. And then a friend of mine that I've known on Facebook for ages, Rappy, thank you very much, and Detailing World, he put me in touch with Dom at Dodo Juice. They sent me this for free, okay? They sent me a few other bits, we'll get into that in a second. I also happened to, about a week later, pop down to see Dave at Epic Detailing, and he's given me some Yum Undress. So these are the two things that are going to go head to head with each other. I'm also going to throw in the Dodo Juice Crudzilla. Now this is exactly the same as Shiner Gloss Forced. Shiner Gloss is made by Dodo Juice. Played exactly the same, broadly very similar. I won this on the Specky and Ball Talk Detailing Christmas podcast when I won that quiz. So there you go. That's what I'm putting that up. This came second to CarPro Retyre when I did my previous test. That'll be linked to at the end of the video. In the video, there will also be a few other things. This is the Captain Crevice fingered wheel mitt. We'll see what that's like. Deep purple is Dodo Juice's fallout removing wheel cleaner. So that's exactly like Shiner Gloss Huel. And here we have got dark matter, which is like gummy from Shiner Gloss, and that is the wheel dressing. I also got sidewall bob, the tyre scrubbing brush. So I'm going to have a look at those. Those will be a bit anecdotal. The main focus is going to be the tyre cleaning products.
And we're going to start off with a hit of the Yum Undress on the left-hand side here, and then a Dodo Juice Pneu Look on the right-hand side. You can let these dwell for about 2 to 3 minutes. You can see that the Yum side is bubblier. It's definitely a more gel-like formula. Whilst the Dodo Juice side is definitely still wet, it looks flat. You know, it hasn't done an awful lot. However, when I come to scrub it, I'm going to rinse the brush out quickly after I've done this side. When I come back to scrub it, you can see there's still plenty of detergent in there. It hasn't dried out. It was the good weather for this today, actually. But you can see it's definitely doing a lot of work. So the Yum looks busier, but actually the Dodo Juice is really doing the work. Now, to test how effective either of these have been, I'm going to swap over the sides and let them dwell for again to 2 to 3 minutes. And that will kind of tell me if I get lots of browning out still on the side where I've cleaned and swapped over for. It tells me how effective the previous chemical was. So on the Yum side, so this had Dodo Juice Pneu Look underneath it first. It's now Yum, pretty white foam. On the side that had the Yum Undress first, and I put the Dodo Juice over the top of, it's a bit browner, which tells me that the Yum Undress didn't clean as much as the Dodo Juice did in one hit. This was borne out on the next wheel. So look at this one. This is it dry. It's uniformly pretty black and even. This side, so the same tyre, but on the other side, had 2 hits of the Yum Undress, and it's still pretty orangey. So these were relatively new tyres. They're about 2 years old. These tyres are about 5 years old. So I'm giving this one on the front 2 hits of the Dodo Juice Pneu Look to see if that gave a good result. That was the first hit, had been dwelling for about 2 to 3 minutes again. Now doing another application, let that dwell for another 2 to 3 minutes. And then we'll come back to it, give it a scrub and rinse it off. I have to say that Dodo Juice the Sidewall Bob brush is incredibly stiff. Did not enjoy using that. I wouldn't use it again. Not much brownness in the foam coming off that time. And after it dried overnight, that's why there's a bit of muck has bounced up on it because on this photo because it rained overnight. That is a perfectly black and clean tyre. So what I did on that car informed what I was going to do on this one. We're going to do a tyre with half and half, get 2 hits of the same product this time. I'm going to mention it again. This and the rear tyres, which I'll come on to in a bit, are the same age, yet the front ones need replacing now. So the engine's over at the front, and obviously they take a lot more of a beating. So what I've found is that the front tyres are more like the front tyres on the van were, more heavily worked, and there's less ozone that's coming out of them, whereas the rear tyres go browner. Anyway, they've been dwelling for about 5 minutes this time. Oh, here's the Captain Crevice funky wheel mitt. It does work. it's very heavy when it's wet and full of water from your shampoo bucket, or for your wheel bucket, that is. So yeah, I wouldn't really go for that, I don't think. It's effective, but hard to use. Anyway, second hits of the chemicals going on now, leaving it to dwell again for about 5 minutes. You can really see the difference between how these products foam up just sitting there. So the Yum looks more impressive, I think. But when you really come to washing and getting the cleaning effect, it's not all about how the chemical looks, is it? It's about the results. So that was pretty white on that side. It's pretty white on this side. But I would say that the Dodo Juice foam is a little bit browner here looking at it than the Yum. So after I washed it off again and I dried it out quickly using the blower function on my vacuum cleaner, which is a Nilfisk Buddy 212, we get to see how clean these really are. And I would say it's pretty uniform. They're pretty even. It's hard to tell on the camera, but I think, based on what I can see here, that the Yum Undress side is marginally orangier than the Dodo Juice side, but it is very, very close. But these are worn tyres. So I'm going to go back to do a more thorough test in a minute. Other side, so the same worn tyres on the other front side, I'm going to put up the New Look against the Crudzilla. So Crudzilla is like the Shiner Gloss Forced. Okay. And I'm testing that because Shiner Gloss Forced came second in my test to Retyre. So this is a really good thing to test against, right? Been on there for about 5 minutes again. You can see they look like they're drying out, but they don't. And you come back and you agitate them and they foam up really nicely. It's dark, right? There's definitely a lot of dirt on the wheel. Not necessarily ozonant, but definitely a lot of dirt. And these two are doing a good job at removing it, or so it looks. So again, quickly whiz around the wheel and I'll give it a rinse off and we'll see, we'll go for another hit. So another hit, we get 2 hits again, but both sides are just having the same chemical on. We're going to whiz through this because it's not that interesting to watch, but at least you get to see both chemicals seem to behave in about the same sort of way. They dry out at the same sort of rate, or don't. Does that make sense? Second hit here. Now, look at the colour of that foam, still bringing up a bit of dirt. Not lots, but a bit. Now, this side seems much whiter to me, which means it's not as removing as much dirt. And that is borne out after we've dried the wheel, and you can see what it's like afterwards, that the Crudzilla side has not removed as much dirt, in my eyes, as the New Look. You see it here? I'm going to do a still in a minute so you can see. It's slightly orangier than this side that had the New Look on. And again, if we do this close up in a second now, you'll be able to see that the half of the photo that's towards you, that is the Crudzilla side, a bit orangey. So, we can go on to a back tyre now, and this has had 1 hit of New Look. So, as I said earlier, like different age and wear on tyres seems to impact how much there is left of them. Now, this is still looking quite orangey, so 1 hit of New Look on its own is not enough.
All right then, that to me was quite interesting. I think I could easily say that the New Look is the best. I think that probably is better than Retyre. I would say that because in here, with this product, I think 2 applications were the maximum I'd needed for any wheel, whereas Retyre I kind of found maybe 3 for really bad ones. But the cost per wash issue really starts to creep in, because this at 1 litre is about £16. That's okay. Doing your own car, you don't need to do this every time you clean your wheels or tyres. It's not one of those products you might do it every couple of times, you know, every other time, depending how frequently you're washing, once a month maybe. So that's fine. The problem is they don't do this in a bigger quantity. And when you go up to CarPro Retyre, it's like £33 for 4 litres or something like that, which is good. You can get it from Into Detailing and use my discount code LLAMA, I'll link down to that below, or from CA Detailing and use my discount code SCL and get some money off there as well. So those are linked down below. There's a link to this as well. I would say if you are just looking for the best out and out tyre cleaner and you're not doing it commercially, this is brilliant. It's better. It's definitely better than the Yum Undress. I would definitely get Retyre over Yum Undress. And this, I think, second best is still the Crudzilla or Shiner Gloss Force. And the reason for that is it's so flexible. You can use it for bug removal. You can use it as a pre-wash. You know, like it's great for many, many different things. So this being so flexible to me actually makes it a brilliant product. But if you do want the out and out best wheel cleaner, tyre cleaner, New Look is great, or CarPro Retyre. Those would be my options. As to what I thought of the wheel cleaner, as I said in the commentary, it's good. It's a good maintenance one. It's not going to be as good at deep cleaning your wheels like Built Hamber Auto Wheel is. So just because it's a fallout removing wheel cleaner, don't think you're getting something akin to Auto Wheel. Dark Matter is a nice water-based dressing. It really depends on the tyre that you've got on your car. So my Mercedes has got Michelin Cross Climate 2s on them, I think, SUV ones, which have got loads of striations around the side, ribs in them, and that's to help disperse the water off the sidewalls. But it also means that it's hard to get this into the sidewall, and also hard for it to stick and then stay in when you're driving around and there's lots of water on the road. The van has got some pretty normal tyres on it with normal sidewalls, with a bit of a pattern, but nothing particularly onerous. And it stayed on there really well, and it hasn't washed off in a couple of bits of rain. So that's good. I didn't like sidewall bob. I found that really difficult, as I said. Let me show you the difference. So this is a Tough Shine brush, a sidewall bob. That extra length in the bristles made this really hard work. So I didn't particularly like that. I would either go for the Tough Shine one or maybe the Detail Factory one with the longer, softer bristles. And finally, this. This is good, but it's incredibly heavy, like I said. It's effective, but it's a lot heavier than a little microfiber wheel mitt. I don't know which one I'd honestly go for. I think I'd go for the small one. I love the idea of this, but it is incredibly heavy. So for that reason alone, I probably wouldn't use it. It didn't let me do something that this didn't. And this was easier to manage and wash out and stuff. So yeah, there we go. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, how about watching this one here when I did the original test of tyre cleaners? Go and subscribe up there, because that always really helps the channel. And maybe go and have a watch of this one as well. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments what you think, if you're going to go and buy any. And yeah, see you in the next one.